So there was part of me that was looking forward to never hearing about Matt Gaetz again after he resigned from Congress and his nomination for Attorney General failed. But then I started thinking about how he's escaping accountability and how Republicans are protecting him from allegations of sexual misconduct, including with a minor. And even though we don't want to talk about, think about, or hear about Matt Gaetz, it's important to stay on top of this, and we have a great clip to play for you from a Democrat who is leading the charge. House Republicans continue to interfere with Democratic efforts to compel the House Ethics Committee to release the report they have on Gaetz. Republicans keep telling us that because Matt Gaetz resigned from Congress, that it all ends there, that there should be no report released to the public. But Democrats have other ideas. Enter Democratic Representative Sean Casten of Illinois, who used his time on the floor to call attention to a handful of other cases where elected officials were under investigation by the Ethics Committee, where it continued its work and released the reports. He accused Republicans of setting a new precedent and telling the country that the rules do not apply to them. Watch this.
Last week, the Speaker of the House and the Majority Leader said that the report into serious allegations of misconduct by former Representative Matt Gaetz was, quote, moot because he had resigned from Congress. I rise today to remind my colleagues of 4 names and 4 years. 1987, Bill Boner. 1990, Don Lukens. 2006, Mark Foley. 2011, Eric Massa. Those are 4 members of Congress spanning each of the last 4 decades. 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. All 4 of them resigned from their seats while under investigation by the House Ethics Committee. Allegations against these members included acceptance of bribes, sharing inappropriate sexually explicit images, and sex with a minor child. In all of those cases, the work of the Ethics Committee continued even after their resignation. In 3 of the 4 cases, the report of the Ethics Committee was released to the public. In none of those cases did anyone have the gall to declare those reports to be moot.
Okay, I want to pause here because we need to highlight this point. He's referencing 4 cases that are very similar to Gaetz, 4 elected officials who resigned while under ethics investigations, and he says that in 3 of 4 of those cases, the reports were released to the public. So there's a clear precedent here for it to be released. For Republicans to hide and pretend that it would be unheard of to release the report to the public is disingenuous and dishonest. And I know it was getting good there, so let's pick up where we left off in the clip.
And so now, in 2024, another representative has resigned while he was under investigation by the House Ethics Committee for allegations including acceptance of bribes, sharing of inappropriate sexually explicit images, and sex with a minor child. Mr. Gaetz is also alleged to have engaged in illicit drug use. We all understand that even the allegation of such activities being committed by one of us cheapens this whole institution. We also all respect the traditions of this House. While they may sometimes need reform, we tread carefully before setting any new precedents. And so here we find ourselves with a tradition going back at least 4 decades that members of the House who are under investigation by the Ethics Committee for these sorts of allegations cannot prevent that information from becoming public simply by resigning from their seat. And yet that is exactly the precedent that the majority voted to upend last week when they voted to kill the resolution to compel the release of the Ethics Committee report on Mr. Gaetz.
And why would they do that? I mean, think about it. Think about the allegations against Matt Gaetz and set aside much of what was said there about tradition and preserving the integrity of the institution. What about just protecting people? What about protecting girls and women from predatory behavior? And I know what you're thinking. Brittany, this is the Republican Party that you're talking about. Look at who they just elected president. Look at the numerous accused predators he's nominating for cabinet positions that most Republicans are supporting. And yeah, you totally have a point. So in an ideal world, Republicans would care about these things and Representative Sean Casten actually makes a good point about why they should care.
Every member of this body now needs to ask themselves if they believe that the president of this House, holding itself and its members to a higher ethical standard, is one worth keeping. They need to ask themselves if they believe that even if you resign from this body, future employers, whether in the public or private sector, should know if you can be trusted to represent their institutions with dignity and honor, can be trusted with their financial resources, can be trusted around underage children. Because make no mistake, everyone who voted against the release of the report last week was saying that no, the time has come for a new precedent where the rules no longer apply to us, where from this day forth, the Republican majority shall loudly proclaim what happens in D.C. stays in D.C. As our friend and former colleague Elijah Cummings would have reminded us, we are better than this. Upholding precedents and maintaining the integrity of this House is not moot. I yield back.
Those are important questions, particularly the question about whether it's important for a future employer to know whether Matt Gaetz can be trusted around minor children. Shouldn't Republicans care about that? Shouldn't everyone care about that? Why are they protecting this man? Stop protecting this man. Release the report. Call your elected officials, demand that they stop with this nonsense, and let's get this report out in the open. And don't forget to tell me what you think in the comments below.
You watch YouTube, you listen to podcasts, you've heard a ton of ads for VPNs, but all VPNs are pretty much the same, except for one. Our sponsor, Private Internet Access, is the only VPN that can confirm your internet activity is not being logged. Their software is fully open source, so you can see that traffic isn't being logged. Their systems are also independently audited by the Big Four accounting firm Deloitte to confirm nothing is being logged, and they've demonstrated multiple times in court they have no record of user activity. Everyone should use a VPN when they connect to the internet. Hides your IP address so governments and big tech can't track you, and you can access Netflix and Hulu content not normally available in your home country. Private Internet Access has servers in 91 different countries and all 50 US states. You can protect all of your devices with just a single account, and Private Internet Access is giving my audience 83% off. Comes out to just $203 a month plus 4 extra months for free. Go to piavpn.com/Pacman. The link is down below.